What's going on, everybody? Welcome to your daily astrology horoscope for Monday, October 10th, 2022. Astrologer Brian Scarborough here, Fixed Air Moon, keeping the collective fixed on astrology. Truly appreciate you all very much. I hope that you had a good weekend. I hope that Pluto direct and a full moon in Aries treated you very well. Definitely intense times. Let's look at the horoscope for today because, well, the intensity doesn't necessarily go away. We're still kind of riding out full moon energy. Moon's still in Aries. Of course, it's done with that opposition, but, it's starting to wane out here. But it's in Aries. It's dealing with conscious desires. It's dealing with our identification. It's dealing with courage and, being able to penetrate forward, especially with the square over to Pluto that we're going to be feeling today. It's like, wow, Pluto direct, full moon in Aries, and then a moon square Pluto just back to back to back, kind of a three-peat of a lot of intensity that we could be feeling in our lives, and a lot of, figuring out subconscious desires that are getting rebirthed, and also getting, conscious desires sort of figured out here and working them into our routine. It's the final day of Mercury in Virgo. So, we're about to see that ingress by, late this evening and coming into tomorrow as well. And Mercury's very intense here, but it's definitely like getting things kind of understood and figured out and finding the practicality to these deeper impulses that we're feeling. Hopefully we're trying to, feel very encouraged with ourselves, very empowered with ourselves, but we're also at a point where there is outside influence in our lives. That's part of life. That's part of reality, relationships, other people, contracts, handshakes, desires, relationships, all these different things that, are out of our control. We could be feeling like we're in a place of not much control. There could be a high fate element to life right now, but just knowing within yourself that you are a powerful being, that you can keep going forward, that nothing has to stop you right now except your own will to stop, could be a big helpful factor in some people's lives. Like, we just got to keep going. It's Pluto finishing up in Capricorn direct now, which one of the most beneficial things about this Pluto direct, as there's a bug in my face, is that it's rebirth. Pluto retrograde, kind of like the dying off, and Pluto direct is kind of the rebirth energy here of the year. So, we're starting to come out of these retrogrades. We're starting to see where things are rebirthing in our life. We're starting to see sort of these deeper desires that lead us towards more of the peak of where we're going and the top of our own mountains, and staying dedicated and being able to take accountability for our own emotions. That's very important today, as we are feeling them very intensely. But nonetheless, we got to go, figure out these things. It's also Venus at 14 degrees, which is opposite Chiron today. So that's, adding to vulnerabilities in relationships. It's adding vulnerabilities to our own self-worth, to not feeling like we can make it up this mountain, to not feel like we can proceed forward with things that we do really want to identify with in life, the people that we want to identify with in our life, money situations in our life, feeling like down in the dumps. I mean, it's definitely, there's a lot of opposing forces that are just part of life that are kind of making us doubt ourselves in some way. We got to find that beauty. We got to find our aesthetic of life that we want, to not feel like we're less than, but to really unlock this key to this powerful wisdom here of how strong we really are. That's a big part of today. And the moon will finish off the day coming into Taurus, where it's exalted, and it'll be the last time we see a moon in Taurus before we get a lunar eclipse there. So definitely like coming into a really solid place within ourselves, having dealt with wounds, having dealt with vulnerabilities, but not playing a victim in life. And I think really aligning ourselves with higher purposes, with higher principles, a higher level of integrity, with a story that you want to create for life. Whatever shows up, you need to grab the bull by the horns and realize that you got this. And that is empowering. That is bringing beautiful people into our lives. And it's also showing where, we don't have that. If we're talking relationships in Libra season and, kind of dissolving where that energy's at, hopefully not too much conflict is being brought up, but dang, it is a conflicting day. We are dealing with a lot of vulnerabilities. We are dealing with the world could make a crazy turn. A relationship could make a crazy turn. And things are heightened right now. It's still kind of a full moon energy today, and it's okay that things are heightened. We're also dealing with Mars coming to 23 degrees, so that square to Neptune is tight this whole week. Mars is going very slow, getting ready to retrograde on the 30th, so we're just 20 days away from that, and it's going to be sitting here squaring Neptune for a month, right? So, but we're feeling the most intense part of it this week until it does retrograde back within that exact degree. We can feel like this power and this way forward is very diluted right now, but really there's a lot of inner sensitivities that we're getting a good understanding of. It's not about playing a victim, though. This is definitely not time to be a martyr. This is definitely time to realize how strong you are mentally and to pursue deeper passions that are connected with that strong connection to your soul, that strong sense of like the I am presence, just very like, I guess a strong belief too, and knowing that the universe has your back right now. Got to kind of make things happen even when it feels like they might just be a dream or a fantasy. You'll never know unless you attempt to go into things or make things happen. We can definitely spell ourselves into not taking action or thinking we're crazy or thinking that nothing positive can come true right now, or we're just very susceptible to outside presences kind of, if you will, getting in and making us go crazy. So we definitely want to have that spiritual body armor on, if you will, higher faith in the beautiful things that can manifest, the beautiful relationships. This is definitely a time and a Monday to see where you can transform your life into the story and the aesthetic and the beauty and the alignment that you desire. Decisions come up big. It's definitely that. The sun is 1 degree away from the trine over to Saturn. So there is positive aspects out there, but it involves us kind of sucking it up and making things happen and seeing things for what they are. It's a time of decisions. It's a time of the right contracts to be made in life, and not just any contract, just for the sake of a contract, but things that are going better forward into a future that really is in alignment with what you want to make it and the people. And I do think this is very positive for people. I think you can see more people in your life are showing up in positive ways than ever, and aligned ways. And then Saturn, of course, still square Uranus. That's very tight, very intense, right? So there's a lot of structures within the dynamics of society and within our relationships and our groups that are breaking apart, but actually to show us a better way forward. We're in that time too. And of course, the sun is quincunx Uranus as well. So there's an electricity in the air. It's intense. There's a lot going on. It's transforming many things. But remember, this is rebirthing where we're going to go from here on out. So definitely a positive note on that as well. Hope you all have a great Monday. Do appreciate you all very much for being here. And I hope that the full moon was well for you also. Cards for the day are Page of Wands in reverse. Keeping a curious outlook on this adventure, on this world, can be very beneficial to our creativity. Seeing that there's more out there, having a youthful sort of approach to what's being rebirthed, and maybe not having the know-it-all sort of opinion of how things are going to work out. I think things can shift and evolve and change right now. Be open and curious. You might just create something that you really do want to go on a quest for. The world reversed. It never ends, right? I feel like it's cycles on cycles and cycles. We're like, oh gosh, I don't want any more intensity in my life. I don't want to go through these situations anymore. Cycles. We're in cycles. It's another rebirth cycle. I think that we just have to get comfortable with it. It doesn't end until it ends in this life. And, keep your head up about how far you have made it, and don't think that you've reached a peak, because there's always going to be the next peak. And the Seven of Pentacles upright. Yeah, I feel like it's just keep working for the things in life that are really bringing beauty into your life, that are bringing a reality that you want to live into your life, connection that is worth putting effort into. This is all about focusing on the things you really want to put effort into, penetrating into those things, and the things that you don't think is going to give you an ROI. Don't focus on those things or those people or those situations. Like, it's time to transmute that. be an alchemist and make the reality something that you value. I love you all very much. Hope you have a beautiful Monday, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Much love. Peace.